Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I am Advocate Charanjeet Singh Chanderpal. I have been practicing at the Bombay High Court as well as at the Supreme Court for the past 20 years. I want to today express upon my viewers as well as my listeners about the demise and the suicide, legally we call it suicide, committed by one of our most revered saints, Sant Baba Ram Singh, Nanak Sar Singhda Wale. Baba Ram Singh Ji knew me for the past 20 years, or rather I was associated with Baba Ram Singh until 2018, and for past 2 years, due to a very hectic professional schedule, I was not much in touch with him, though I was very much in touch with his followers. Baba Ram Singh that I know was a very peace-loving saint, a very uncontroversial saint who always wished to stay away from any kind of political controversy. I still remember when people would talk about any political controversy, he would make a small comment or so, but he would not go deep into it because he never wanted to enter that arena. Baba Ram Singh was a kind of a messiah, a kind of a very highly elevated soul, and a number of people in Karnal Singhda, in Punjab, abroad in Australia, in England, in Canada, in Mumbai where I stay, in Delhi. He had a number of people who were his followers because he had the power gifted by Vaheguru Ji to make people attach themselves to the name of God. Apart from this, he was a great philanthropic person. He had been managing this ashram right since 1985-1990, which is known as the Nanak Sar That Ekomkar Ashram. I had the privilege of visiting this ashram in 2001. Baba Ram Singh had been a kind of a fatherly figure to the people in Singhda. In Singhda, people would actually, very sorry to say that we should always be worshipping Vaheguru Ji, but people actually used to worship him. People used to leave their children with him, and in the dera, in the ashram itself, he had more than 200 people with him. Every day there used to be medical camps. People would have, those people, who were very ill. They would be getting treated over there. Early morning at 4 o'clock, we would have the Sukhmani Sahib, followed by the Nitnem and the Rahat Maryada of the Sikhs. I had been with him very close from the year 1999 to 2004, after which my law work picked up and I was not much in touch with him, and off and on I used to visit him whenever he used to come in Mumbai or in Ulasnagar. When I heard about Baba Ram Singh Ji having shot himself on the 16th, when I was going back home, my wife called me. I was actually shell-shocked. After which, when I went home, I read the reports and I came to a conclusion that this kind of a suicide, though legally we would call it a suicide, of course, in law terms it is a suicide, but in actuality, this, in Punjabi, we call it as shahadat. It is a martyrdom. It is a way of protest in which he has tried to communicate to the government of India that some of the laws which the government is passing, it could affect the masses badly. The farmer lobby of Punjab, and why Punjab? Punjab, Haryana, UP, and various places in India which are known for their farming, would be greatly affected. Now, I want to impress upon the people of India, as well as Mr. Narendra Modi, as well as the Modi government, in a very legal, in a very peaceful, and in a very appealing manner. Mr. Modi's government gave us the deletion of Article 370. Mr. Modi's government got in CAA. Mr. Modi's government got in the GST. He got in the demonetization. Most of his policies were by and large acceptable, though demonetization did not give as many benefits as was perceived. In fact, in Article 370 deletion, I moved 10 intervenor applications at the Supreme Court in favor of the deletion of Article 370, with a further request that the boundaries of the J&K and Ladakh may be declared and an official map may be declared. Out and out, we have supported Mr. Modi for a number of his things that he has been doing. But unfortunately, what we have been seeing in one or two places where he may be going wrong, like he's a human being, no, everybody can commit mistakes, but the aspect is that after one commits a mistake, he must admit the mistake, he must repair it, he must rectify it. And if he doesn't rectify it, it is going to cause a lot of upheaval amongst the public. And that is what has happened. Now, what are these 3 farm laws for which the farmers are protesting? In sum and substance, after having gone through those 3 laws, which I don't want to discuss over here, since we are on a commemoration, we are on a condolence of the demise of Sant Baba Ram Singh, I would just in short say that he has permitted, not he meaning the government, the bill, the law has permitted unlimited hoarding, unlimited storage, no cap on pricing, and the minimum supply price, the MSP, that has not yet been defined. Resultantly, the center credit and the state credit which was going to the farmers for procurement has come to be deleted. The government has withdrawn the entire credit to be given to the farmers. As a result of which, the farmers would now be at the mercy of the private people, and there is an agency formed through which the purchases of the food grains would be made. What would happen is a number of poor farmers who are in debts already, they would stand to lose a lot. The Act also has some provisions by which the land of the farmers could be acquired. Further, there are restrictive covenants for approaching the court. Finally, when one sees, in sum and substance, indirectly though, it would mean a privatization of the farming sector. The Essential Commodities Act of the Government of India, which has been in force for a number of years, would also stand to be affected. Electricity we have privatized. Railways also we are thinking of privatization. And now the farm sector, the agricultural sector, which has given birth to the soldiers from the Indian Army, which has given birth to the dairy sector, which has given birth to so many parasectors, and based on which our agrarian economy is functioning. Today also India is by and large an agrarian economy. One cannot go out for such a kind of a policy. I am told, and in fact I read also, that the Supreme Court has also asked the Associate or the Assistant Attorney General, Mr. Tushar Mehta, to have a relook, to have a committee formed, as well as to discuss it with the committee and come up with a proposal before this whole thing snowballs into a very bad, irreversible thing. When Baba Ram Singh saw the plight of the farmers, he was shocked. And having seen so, in order to communicate the gravity of the appeal, the gravity of the protest of the farmers to the government of India, he has shot himself dead. This kind of a death would not be a normal suicide. On paper it would be suicide, but in actuality it is a death in protest. And it is a very wrong thing that a saint who has been feeding so many people, a saint who has been doing so many philanthropic things, should end up his life in protest for a cause for which the government must relook at the situation. I may request the government of India with folded hands to relook at all these 3 laws, either to repeal them or to take them back by way of a parliamentary process, which is very much possible, or to make all the necessary amendments in order to restore to normalcy the position which was there before the passing of these acts. Rest in peace, the soul of Sant Baba Ram Singh. Jai Hind. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.